All right, so we're going to review slope-intercept form, which slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, which you are very familiar with. And remember that the m is your slope and the b is your y-intercept. So if I give you an example that says, write the equation of a line with a slope of -2, you know that that is your m value, and a y-intercept of 0, 8, well, that's your b value. So you can write your equation y equals -2x plus 8. Now there's other forms of equations. So the second form that we're going to talk about is standard form. Standard form looks like ax plus by equals c, and we don't know what the a and the b value and the c value are. Those are things that we have to find. So this form is useful for finding the x and y intercepts, though. There's a couple things we do with this form, and there's other things that we don't do with this form. So the first thing is that we're going to find the intercepts for the equation. When we talk about intercepts, we're talking about the x and y intercepts. So if I were to just sketch out a graph over here, and I have a line, right? We don't know what that equation is, but we know that this point right here, that's my x-intercept. And it's my x-intercept because it has an x value and then 0 for the y. And this point right here, that's my y-intercept. And we know that it would be 0 for x and some y value, okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to plug numbers in for x and y to figure out the intercept. And that number is 0. So if I'm trying to find the x-intercept, which would be, it would look like x comma 0, then you know that the y value is 0. So y equals 0. So all we're going to do is plug it in and figure out what the x value is. So we're just finding an order pair. So 2x minus 3 times 0 is 12. Well, 3 times 0 is 0, so I have 2x equals 12. Then we divide both sides by 2, and we get 6. And so my order pair is 6, 0. That's the numbers that we plugged in. So that's the x-intercept. Over here, if I'm looking at the y-intercept, so we know that the x value is 0. That's what this is saying, that the x value is 0. So I'm going to plug 0 in for x this time. So 2 times 0 minus 3y equals 12. 2 times 0 is 0, so I'm left with negative 3y equals 12. Watch your signs here. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3, and I get negative 4. So my order pair is 0, negative 4. Now, I've shown you already how to use the calculator, but we're going to do a quick review. So if you go to a graph page, oops, there we go. And you cannot type it here because it says f of x, so you delete your equal sign and pick a relation. And then we type in our equation, 2x minus 3y equals 12. And we graph it, we can see that the x-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 0. And the y-intercept is -1, 2, 3, -4. So 0, -4. And just remember that we can press menu 5 for trace, 1 for graph trace. And then if we scroll left and right, it will actually tell us the y-intercept is 0, -4. And then the x-intercept is 0. Okay, but I want you to be able to do it without just using the calculator. The calculator should be your checking point. And so we're going to do another one. What are the x and y intercepts for the equation? 7x minus 3y equals 42. So if I'm trying to find the x-intercept, that means y equals 0. So I have 7x minus 3 times 0 equals 42. We're just using this equation and we're plugging 0 in for y. So this part disappears and I have 7x equals 42. I divide both sides by 7 and I get 6. So my order pair is 6, 0. And then if I want to find the y-intercept, my x is 0. So 7 times 0 minus 3y equals 42. So 7 times 0 cancels out. I have negative 3y equals 42. We divide both sides by negative 3. We get negative 14. So my order pair is 0, negative 14. Now, if you were not in class, then you should be practicing this paper after. And I'm going to go over 2 questions. I'll go over 1 and 4. And we're going to kind of shorten it just a smidge by saying if I'm trying to find an x-intercept, I know y is 0. If y is 0, that means it goes away. And what's left? Well, what's left is 8x equals 24. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 8, so x equals 3. And I'm going to write my order pair of 3, 0. And then over here on the y-intercept, I know that my x is 0. So if x is 0, it goes away. And what's left is 4y equals 24. And it's a positive 4y equals 24. We divide both sides by 4 and we get 6. So 0, 6 is the order pair. I'm going to come down here to number 4. And again, I'm finding the x-intercept, so y is 0. So that means I cover up the y, and what's left? Well, I have 2x equals negative 4. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x equals negative 2. And my order pair would be negative 2, 0. So you do need to write the order pairs every time. My y-intercept means that x is 0. So if I cover up the x, I still want to include that sign there. I have a negative, and really it's a negative 1y equals negative 4. And then we divide both sides by negative 1, and 2 negatives divide and give you a positive. So my order pair is 0, 4. And just a reminder that you can type all of these onto a graph page as a relation, and you can check your answers.